Yo, what up? Russ Practically here, and today we're going to talk about Xbox's, I guess you could say, annual Dev Direct, since, you know, it happened last year and it happened this year again. So that's annual, right? That's annual. Another one of their behind the scenes presentations for a couple of games that are coming out later this year. It was about a 50-minute presentation that went through a handful of games: Avowed, Hellblade 2, Visions of Mana, Aura History Untold, and the Indiana Jones game that was heavily rumored. We finally got to see something about that. So to dive into it, they started out with Avowed. We've known about Avowed for quite a while now, actually, but we haven't actually seen too much of the game. So we finally got to see it in this. And right off the bat, the game looks visually amazing. The environments are extremely varied. They all look great. The character models especially have a lot of detail to them. And yeah, the game is just visually stunning. Honestly, aside from that, this doesn't look too much different from what this dev studio has done before. This is made by Obsidian, who is behind the Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas. And yeah, when they started showing the game off, aside from like the aesthetic and the setting of the game, it looks very, very similar to what they've done before in the past. And they really tried to sell you on like how much choice you're gonna have in this game, which I don't doubt at all. Especially with the combat, we're really emphasizing the fact that you're not locked into like a certain weapon class during combat. You're able to freely switch on the fly to different weapons. Like they showed off wands, they showed off guns, sword and shield, and that you're making real-time choices.
You're making real-time decisions.
But ultimately, the thought I had when they started showing this off was that it kind of looks like Skyrim, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't think it's the greatest thing either. And overall, like, it just kind of looked like another really, really expansive RPG where you do anything, where you can go anywhere, do anything, whatever. Nothing that they show really said I have to play this right now. And on top of the fact that, you know, these types of massive RPGs aren't really my thing. They don't really entice me to play them like that. But it's still like nothing really encapsulated me about this showing that they gave in this presentation. Does the game look bad? Absolutely not. But at the same time, it doesn't look like anything special or different. It just kind of looks like stuff we've seen before from other people and stuff we've seen before from them. That is slated to come out in fall 2024, so we'll see about that. And then we went into Hellblade 2. And honestly, they just need to release this game already. Like, I feel like we've heard about this game and seen a lot about this game forever now, and we've just been waiting for it to come out. What they showed, it was cool. Like, it was cool to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff for this game, like the binaural audio, which they spent a lot of time on. That was really cool to see how that worked and how they recorded all the different sounds and audio effects for that. The combat they were showing off looks a lot more cinematic than a lot of other things I've seen before. The game, again, this is a running trend, but the game looks visually amazing. But I don't need to hear or see anything else about this game. I'm already convinced that it's good. I'm already convinced that it's something I probably should play. And really, I think they just announced this game a bit too early for what they've been doing. It feels like an eternity that we've been waiting for this. But regardless, I don't know if we had this date before, but we got a date May 21st, 2024. That is like 4 months away. We'll see if they hit that. Hopefully they do, because I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to hear anything else until this game is actually out to the public. And then Xbox wants to try and pull a fast one. So if you saw the presentation, they had like 4 squares of the games they were going to talk about, and then they just slide in another one. And this was Visions of Mana. And I was like, how dare you do this to me? They have a Square Enix presentation out of nowhere. So they start off by like describing the history of the game. And I had no idea there were 17 titles in this series. Like, I am a fucking fraud. Oh my God, yo, I am uncultured as hell. I need to catch up. This is the first game in 15 years. It was the first Mana game coming to Xbox, and the game looks really good. Now, granted, I am a sucker for Japanese RPGs. Them looking good to me is genuinely not, you know, them looking good to a lot of other people. Like, to be honest, they don't push the boundaries, like, fidelity-wise a lot anymore. But still, this game just looked like it was gonna be a lot of fun. And then the creator puts his face on screen. And tell me why this dude looks so fucking cool. Like, bro, dude, where you shop at? For real. Like, yo, I need that jacket. Where'd you get that jacket from? Because I want it. Dude said, I'm the creator of this shit, and I cannot be out here looking like a bum. But anyway, they took the time to really go in depth about all the monster and companion designs. even like throughout the history of the series, like this was really a history lesson. And then they really focused on the combat, which I believe is the first time it's action-based combat. And they really focused on the aerial aspect of this combat, talking about all the different mobility and maneuvers that you can pull off while fighting in aerial combat. It looked really, really cool. And then also they focused on like the elemental elements, I guess you could say, the spirits and the abilities that you could pull off in combat. All that looked pretty insane. They boasted about having a 100-song soundtrack. Are we gonna hear all those songs in the game? Probably not. And they also tried to, I guess, quote unquote, brag about how the music was gonna change from environmental exploration to combat. The example they gave, they did do what they said. It did do what they said. But I argue that the music they chose for combat did not really pump me up for fighting. If anything, I felt like I was chilling in the lobby somewhere. Aside from that though, like I said, they really focused on the designs of the enemies. If they talked a lot about anything, it was the enemy designs and how they were animated and how they were able to translate the pixel art to 3D. Yeah, this game looks like it'll be fun, at least for me. This is coming out summer 2024, so they say. And then moving on, we got Our History Untold. Now, this is where I kind of have to just, hey, you strategy people? You strategy people, you go ahead and take it. Because I don't have too much to say. This is made from devs that worked on Civilization 5. Not the exact developers, but some of the devs that work at this company. They worked on Civ 5. And it shows. When they showed the first character models, I was like, this looks a lot like Civilization. And go figure. I will say that the devs in this portion of the presentation, this studio seemed very ecstatic about their game, more than anybody else, honestly. One thing that kind of stood out to me was they were talking about how turns worked in this game. I think it was called simultaneous turns. After everybody's actions are selected, everybody's actions happen all at the same time, which I don't know how that's gonna work per se, but it seems kind of cool. It's different from, you know, stuff that I've experienced before. Overall, I think this game will look very, very familiar to people that are in the strategy game space. This comes out in fall 2024, so all you strategy people, you let me know how this game is. You let me know, because I'm not gonna know. I don't have the background for that, so you tell me. And then lastly, we got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This game was rumored for a long time. We finally got to hear about it. This is coming from Machine Games, which are the devs of the new Wolfenstein. What's the second one? I forgot the second one's name. And then the Youngblood DLC. And they owe us for that shit, all right? Because that shit was not good. At least not to me. I don't know. If you liked it, good on you. But if that, no. So they owe us for that. So this presentation starts. You got one of the devs speaking. And then Todd Howard comes out. And I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. But no, honestly, jokes aside, they start talking about the story a little bit, or at least how, you know, the game starts up. They say it takes place between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. The game starts off at the college Indy is working at, and there's a break-in. And Indy goes to investigate. And when he finds the thief, it's a giant-ass black man. Now, tell me why, tell me why the thief had to be black, though. Like, for real? For real. But aside from that, the character models in this game look really, really good. They look incredible. I'm pretty sure they do. But if they don't have the license to Harrison Ford's likeness, he can sue their ass for real. They really put a lot of work into the graphic fidelity of this game. The environments are very varied from what they say. They showed a lot of concept art of the different environments that we're going to go to. What we actually saw in game was more of a deserty area, and then more of like a city streets area and a forest. So they say they had more environments than that, but we didn't get to see all of them like that, which I didn't expect to. And also, this game is first person for the most part. I did not expect that. I was really expecting a third person game when I saw that this was on the rundown. Coming from who it's coming from is not surprising. But a cool thing they're doing is whenever you're doing any kind of like traversal actions, like climbing or something like that, it'll zoom out to third person. You can see Indy climbing very, very slowly. Very slowly. Maybe just so you can gawk at Indy's ass. I don't know. You can look forward to a lot of different puzzle solving in the game, a lot of mandatory puzzles, and they emphasize the fact that there's a lot of optional puzzles that'll lead to different secrets that you can that you'll be able to find and explore in these environments. There seems to be a good emphasis on stealth gameplay. They're giving you a lot of different options and how you want to tackle things. You have Indy's classic whip, you have your own fist, and then you have, of course, you got your guns. And you can even pick up weapons in the environment to like take enemies out. I will say though, the actual combat looked a little bit wonky to me. Mainly using the whip, and I think there was like a little bit where he was just, you know, going hand-to-hand combat with some of the other enemies in the game or some of the guards. But mainly the whip kind of looked a little awkward. Maybe because he just missed. He just missed and it looked weird, but I don't know. They showed a couple of cinematic pieces or cinematic set pieces, and I'm pretty sure there'll be more of those. And they showed that the capturing of a lot of the different stuntmen that they hire for this game. It seems like there's gonna be like a lot of high octane action. Overall, it seems like it's gonna be a dream for Indiana Jones fans. I am personally not a big Indiana Jones fan, so this didn't speak to me all that much. But I will say, after seeing the presentation twice now, because I watched it once and then went back and watched it again just to make sure like I kind of really grasped what the devs were talking about. And after seeing this one again, I came off looking at it in a more positive light than I did the first time. The first time I was not that high on it, but now I'm like, okay, this looks like something I could get into, honestly. That just says 2024. We don't have any kind of window for it besides the year. That is one where I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed. Overall, this presentation was pretty interesting. Like I said, I was not expecting to be extremely wowed by anything here. I think the highlight for me was definitely Visions of Mana. Aside from that, Hellblade again looks incredible and just needs to come out at this point. And Indiana Jones, I've kind of flipped my opinion on that a bit. That was Xbox Dev Direct 2024. What did you think about this presentation? What games are you excited for in this? What was your favorite aspect of this presentation? Do you think any of this shit coming out like they say it is? I'm curious. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, like, and share the video. Follow me on social media down in the description below. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm Russ, practically out. Later.